And now you have to ask yourself, how did 50 come into the possession of Diddy's footage for Diddy's documentary about Diddy?
A lot of insight. And this documentary is about people being able to tell their truth or tell their version.
For years, many people dismissed Katt Williams as someone who made outrageous claims simply to entertain audiences. That perception shifted dramatically after his January 2024 appearance on Club Shay Shay, when a number of his statements began to align with real-world developments. Suddenly, he was no longer seen as just a comedian, but as someone shining a light on power, secrecy, and an entertainment industry shaped by influence and protection. The conversation gained even more momentum after 50 Cent released the documentary Sean Combs, The Reckoning, which revisited long-discussed allegations while noticeably leaving out several influential figures. As a result, Katt's earlier remarks resurfaced, particularly his warning about 7 seemingly untouchable individuals, leading many viewers to connect the dots as Diddy's legal challenges continued to unfold and fueling speculation that Katt may have been hinting at something far more significant.
Comedy Jam 25. It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna
Def Comedy Jam 25, the venue was filled with legendary comedians, non-stop laughter, and an undeniable sense of excitement. Yet beneath the celebration, there was also a quiet feeling of tension, as one question seemed to linger in everyone's mind. Was Katt Williams really going to make an appearance?
Audio from Suge Knight. It's from his podcast with Dave Mays, and he's speaking on, Tupac and Snoop being cool, and how, after Tupac got killed, Snoop started hanging out with Diddy. And, he also speaks on how, Snoop, he did the Steve Harvey show with Diddy after Tupac got killed. Check this out.
Okay. It's downloading right now.
Then you look at the scenario how everybody used Pac to make their stuff famous or make their project better. You got people who use their songs with Pac and tell them how much they love Pac, but they do songs with Puffy. You got Steve Harvey, a whole bit that, this motherfucker tell him, well, Pac, according to everybody else, he brings Snoop and Puffy on there and say, these the dudes who's running this in the East Coast, West Coast.
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, huh? Hey, whoa. Wait a minute, fellas here. Hold up. I know all about this East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing here, but we in Chicago now. This rivalry stuff, we gotta stop it, man. We stop that, we stop a lot of this violence.
Yo, Steve, check this, man. All that East Coast, West Coast stuff is a bunch of media hype. It's been my dog from day one, you know what I'm saying? It's all good between me and him. That's my peoples.
For real, that's what we came here for. We came in to light it up and ride it up. We make it.
Now, Pac, if you love Pac so much, how you with the motherfuckers, they got something to do with the first get down that happened to Pac in New York. Then the second one.
What you think about Suge comments? And I never asked you this before, but did you have an issue with Snoop hanging out with Diddy after Tupac got killed?
I always felt that was wrong. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm talking about from that, like now, okay. You know what I mean? I'm 46, Snoop probably early 50s. If he figured out now, he might go by the opinion that, okay, Puffy had nothing to do with Pac. We grown now. If he want to be his friend, no problem. But back then, that was just awkward. You know what I mean? And the reason why it was awkward to me that I never even like it because you knew how Pac felt about this.
The message was unmistakable. According to Katt, Diddy was not operating on his own, but was surrounded by layers of powerful people whose influence made them difficult to challenge publicly. Although Katt never revealed a complete list or explicitly identified all 7 individuals, his remarks were enough to ignite widespread discussion across the internet. As expected, people quickly began forming their own theories and trying to fill in the blanks. One of the first names that repeatedly surfaced in those conversations was Snoop Dogg, illustrating just how quickly speculation can spread whenever well-known figures are left unnamed.
You lying! You lying! He's lying! He didn't even buy it yet! He's lying!
Fans were quick to note that Snoop had openly spoken for years about attending Diddy's parties, with older interviews, humorous stories, and archived video clips highlighting how closely their social circles often overlapped. As online rumors and resurfaced claims continued to circulate, despite remaining unverified and largely speculative, many people began wondering why his name was entirely absent from the documentary. The theory that gained traction was straightforward, including Snoop could have triggered significant backlash, not only from fans but also from influential figures throughout the entertainment industry. More than just a rapper, Snoop has become a global brand and cultural icon, leading many to believe that his level of influence made him someone few were willing to challenge publicly.
BET Awards went off without a hitch last night. A sense of that there. No, inside everything was fine. Outside everything was fine. And Kevin Hart decided that he was going to make jokes about, well, I mean, he's the host, right? So you have to sort of roast a little bit about someone who's in the audience.
Kevin Hart's name also caught many people by surprise, particularly as online discussions revisited rumors surrounding his early career and alleged connections to gatherings often referred to as flavor camp. These events have been associated with Diddy and were frequently described as networking opportunities for aspiring entertainers hoping to establish themselves in the industry. As those stories continued to resurface over the years, they fueled ongoing speculation and debate about how closely certain careers may have been linked behind the scenes, despite the claims remaining unverified.
I don't know, man. The internet is going wild on him, saying that he was a curator and a narrator of one of the Diddy parties and got caught on tape. You hear that?
Wow. I didn't hear that one.
That must be one of your favorite. That must be one of your favorite comedians, then. Cause you didn't hear that?
That was cool.
Huh?
I didn't hear it.
Get out of here.
It was cool, but I didn't hear that one. Must have missed it, man. I think I caught most of them.
I think he almost fell in the tub with one of the girls. Diddy had some girls in the tub, a tub of baby oil or something like that, and he almost fell in the tub. It was crazy.
You know, he would be one of the celebrities that I definitely wouldn't think would be involved in anything illegal. For sure.
But you gotta realize this, man. People who get caught up in certain those things like that, those parties and things like that, is that they don't go there looking for that stuff. You gotta understand, they get caught up in the moment with the alcohol, the drugs, and then certain bottles that are laced with certain things that take you away from your normal self. And you end up probably doing something that you probably never do again in your life. You never get caught up in those things ever before. There are a lot of celebrities that go to these parties like this. And they not only Diddy parties. I went to a party before and You Can't Handle the Truth and King Kong Ain't Got Nothing on Me was at one of those parties. I was bodyguarding one of the girls. So what I'm saying is that it's rampant, and this was years ago. This was over 20 years ago. It's rampant in the music industry. It's rampant in Hollywood, film, pictures, and anything.
Can I tell you a story, Killer? I don't think I ever told you this story. This is what Puff taught me. One time I walked in when I was fresh off the streets. I got signed to Bad Boy. I had these fresh Air Nikes on, and then had on Air Nikes too, brand new. I made a mistake and stepped on his sneaker, and the dirt was on his laces, on his white Airs. I said, man, my bad, because I had stepped in some dirt. You know, the nigga came back, put his feet in the dirt, and stepped all over my sneakers. I said, yo, what are you doing? He said, my bad. I said, yo. The moral of the story is, nobody just want to hear you say you're bad.
Fans also began revisiting Kevin Hart's early stand-up performances, and although none of them served as evidence of any wrongdoing, some viewers felt that certain jokes carried a different meaning when viewed in hindsight. That interpretation led to renewed questions about what, if anything, he may have witnessed throughout his career. Online speculation further suggested that mentioning his name could have created significant legal and business complications because of his extensive partnerships, major film projects, and relationships with leading studios. None of those claims were ever confirmed, but the continued absence of clear answers only fueled ongoing curiosity and debate.
So Mace was told the day before the incident at the celebrity basketball game that someone was coming for Puffy and Biggie. And another line that Mace said that caught my attention, man, was him saying that never found the killer. Why is there? How do you feel about him saying that? Because it sounds like he's referring to Biggie getting killed in LA, and Puffy, he's currently living in LA right now. And why does he feel so comfortable living somewhere that Biggie got killed at, knowing that they never found the killer and the murder is still unsolved?
Well, on all honestly, brother, you would have to ask him that. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm looking at it like that, then I know, you know, those mansions are heavily guarded, 1. 2, he wasn't getting the love that he would get. I don't think he's getting love in LA. I don't know. He said he owns LA, he runs LA, he runs Miami, and he runs New York. So by him running LA, as he say he does, I would feel comfortable too. You know what I'm saying? If I knew for a fact that the person they got, and that was enough to call back all of everything, I would feel that comfortable too. But I wouldn't live there. I wouldn't go there. I'd do business and get on out of there. If I was still afraid, I don't think he may have not ever been afraid. You understand? Because he never acted like he was afraid for whatever reason it was. I can't pinpoint it myself, man.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. Yes, I am. You putting in that work. I'm proud of you. I love you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Mace remains one of the quieter names mentioned in these discussions. Yet his long and complicated history with bad boy records has continued to attract attention because of well-known contract disputes, public frustration, and the distance he appeared to maintain after allegations involving Diddy began to surface. Many people expected him to speak publicly, but instead he remained silent, and that silence became part of the conversation itself. Some fans believe Mace may know more than he has chosen to share publicly, while others argue that he simply wants to leave that chapter of his life behind. According to online speculation, his close personal and professional ties to the situation made him a figure whose name could have prompted difficult questions that remained unanswered.
The day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood, whereas that he's dressing like Diddy, hugged up with Diddy. I think that Lil Rod know a lot of, but I know this. Two men dress alike, it's just like two men laying down. When they both get up, they both homos. And that's real talk, bruh. My man, you go to a party, dog, and the nigga got the same shirt you got on, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm walking around in a t-shirt. And then, not to blow Meek Mills up out the water or anything like that, it was said that they checked his Google search and all that, and he was searching for some online gay porn and all that.
Oh, wow.
Crazy, bro. But listen, those are what, you know, it's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something get you. These guys never set out to do all this. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioning about his manhood with Diddy. But he put himself in that position.
Like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours.
Meek Mill's name became part of the conversation after an audio clip circulated online and spread rapidly across social media, prompting widespread discussion and debate. Some people dismissed the recording almost immediately, while others believed it raised questions worth examining. Although Meek publicly denied any wrongdoing, the controversy continued to fuel online speculation. Some commentators suggested that mentioning him directly in the documentary could have exposed the project to legal challenges, defamation claims, and significant media scrutiny that major distributors would likely seek to avoid. According to online rumors, some viewers interpreted this as another instance of potentially controversial information being omitted out of caution rather than certainty, reinforcing a pattern they believed had existed for years.
Bootleg, yo, they don't even bootleg no more, man. So it's gonna be hard to figure it out if it does exist.
Do you believe the guy in the tape is white?
If he's bigger than Diddy, and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be him. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people, man.
Right. Not at all. And somebody that more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy, he was an A-lister, he was younger. You know what I'm saying? And if he's not black, it would have to be the Bieber. That's his name, Bieber? They said I got that wrong too. Justin Bieber, allegedly. I don't know, bro.
Right. But when you heard the news that Diddy, he had a tape with another man, did that catch you by surprise or not?
Well, all this is by surprise to me. A lot of this is by surprise to me, to be totally honest, man. Because I knew Puff. I knew Puff Daddy. I knew Diddy before he was Love and Brother Love and back to Diddy. So, no, but the diddler, he's the diddler now. A lot of it's surprising, but it's not unheard of. Because you hear of all kinds of shit, and whether it registered with you or you internalize it or something like that, that's a whole nother story. But a lot of this stuff is crazy. But this is the world that we live in now.
Among the most sensitive names raised in online discussions were Justin Bieber and Usher, both of whom had early career associations with Diddy. As older interviews and archived video clips resurfaced, they drew renewed public attention to moments that many viewers felt had previously gone unnoticed. Justin Bieber's emotional responses to questions from paparazzi years later also became the subject of online speculation, prompting some people to question whether young performers in the industry had always received adequate protection and support. However, none of those interpretations have been confirmed. Some commentators argued that the documentary avoided focusing on this topic, not because it was unimportant, but because publicly speculating about or identifying potential victims without evidence could have caused unnecessary harm. As a result, neither of their names became a central focus of the film.
Stacey Dash, Ray J, Clive Davis, how are they all connected?
I want to say Diddy, but I don't.
we're gonna be going through all of those possibilities.
Oh, okay. I wasn't supposed to answer. Okay.
And when we started LA as a graveyard, then, it was like, okay, we can't just say that anymore, especially after I took them up to 35 for us to film about what happened to Mo there. It's hip hop.
Yeah.
And that's going to be moving on to Tombstone.
Okay.
And we'll be going through the unexpected, unusual deaths, unsolved murders, mysteries, things of that nature, things that I know, things that I'm directly connected to. We want to create this aspect because we want to start teasing people's minds into wanting to get these crimes solved, because the truth is, it seems like the hardest murder to solve in America is a rap murder. They just don't seem to get solved.
Without question.
That's a problem.
Without question.
Because we got over 35, 40 years of hip-hop homicides.
Yes.
How many of them get solved?
They created a whole show. Yeah.
Unsolved hip-hop mystery? Are you kidding me?
Hey. I have to ask you, you mentioned Clive Davis. They just showed him recently walking into somewhere, and they asked him about Diddy, and he said who? Is that old age, or does he not? They're not in the same world, or they're in the same world, but they're not cohorts.
Then there is Clive Davis. In many online discussions, some commentators portrayed Diddy as the public face of a much larger system while describing Clive Davis as a powerful industry figure whose influence extended far beyond any one artist or label. For those viewers, his absence from the documentary was seen as noteworthy, not because they believed he personally required protection, but because they viewed him as representing the broader music industry itself. In their view, mentioning his name would have shifted the conversation away from a single individual and toward larger questions about how power, influence, and decision-making operate throughout the entertainment business. To some observers, that broader discussion represented a line the documentary chose not to cross.
A lot of people have been talking about for some time now. Alex, let me begin with you. The docuseries is entitled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. How is this one different from the others that have been out there?
Well, I think that the biggest marker of what makes this film or this series different is how much time we took into putting into the making of the film, doing our due diligence to get the right voices, to the table, this is a series that spans over 30 years. So just by covering that much time, it took a lot of time for us to dig in and to kind of make sense of this story and to put this timeline together.
Yeah, and there's like some never before seen footage that I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment. But Curtis, people know about this very public, long-standing feud that you've had with Sean Combs. So what brought you to this project?
Well, I just want to make really hit television. I like the idea of it being exciting, and I picked this project and started working on it about 5 months before I found Alex. And I know that she has the artistic integrity that it would take to make it a great project, and there's the Quincy Jones era of production is find me that bass player because he's the baddest man out there in Chicago, and find me that keyboardist and fly them in from Miami, and we put them in and had the greatest jam session they ever heard, and it just always resulted in great hit music. And I take that concept into television production.
You take that into everything you do, sir.
That's right.
You really do. It really comes through, and appreciate that about you. As I said, never before seen footage of the days leading up to his arrest. Can you just talk a little bit about, was there anything that surprised you from that footage?
The footage, I think it's rare to find someone who's being, talked about all over the country. All eyes were on him, so to speak. And it was really interesting to see his last days of freedom, and what was sort of important to him. Obviously, there's phone calls with his attorneys, with his team. It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. He has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public, in the days leading up to his arrest and indictment. So that was interesting. It was also just interesting to see how laid back he was at times, but the footage also, in the footage we also see how he's getting incoming, lawsuits are dropping, and to get his real-time perspective on that was sort of jaw-dropping when we first got our eyes on the footage.
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching the footage?
No, that didn't surprise me at all.
Because you've known him?
Yeah, those behaviors, and I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
Yeah, and I want to ask about that, because how did you go about getting the footage? And do you know the intent of the videographer, why he or this person took the footage?
She's a journalist, right?
Yeah.
So she's not going to reveal her sources, so you don't have to reveal that.
Not going to reveal my sources, but I think that partnering with someone like 50, it was very much in the universe as to what we were doing.
50 Cent addressed the speculation cautiously, explaining that documentaries are often shaped by practical realities such as runtime limitations, episode structure, and legal considerations. At the same time, Katt Williams, through his comedy and carefully worded remarks, appeared to imply that some editorial decisions may have reflected more than simple creative judgment. According to online speculation, any omissions could have been influenced by a range of factors, including legal concerns, distribution issues, industry relationships, or efforts to avoid harming individuals potentially connected to the story. None of those theories have been confirmed, and the discussion has remained open to interpretation. Even so, the names many viewers expected to hear were never included. For some audiences, the most striking aspect was not only who was left out, but how familiar the overall pattern seemed. A public scandal centered on one prominent figure, while broader questions about the surrounding system gradually faded into the background. Following the release of Sean Combs' The Reckoning, many viewers observed that public attention quickly narrowed almost entirely to Diddy. Broader questions such as who financed certain events, approved venues attended over the years, or held decision-making authority received far less attention in the public conversation. Some online commentators compared the situation to previous controversies within the entertainment industry, arguing that they saw a recurring pattern emerge. In their view, one individual becomes the primary focus of a scandal, while broader claims involving multiple influential figures are often described as unverified, too legally sensitive, or beyond the scope of public discussion. Those comparisons remain matters of opinion and speculation rather than established fact.